Welcome back to Pilates with Bianca. You are going to be doing a core workout today. So this is a flat abs series. Now this is perfect for those people who do have abdominal separation. Please be mindful that too many crunches is actually going to be bad for you. So please listen to your body. Whenever you do see coning of the core, that is a sure sign that you need to actually stop and maybe do another exercise. So you should never see that coning because that would mean you've got abdominal separation. So check with your physio before you maybe do these classes. But also, Pilates is so good for the abdominal separation as well. So come with me, roll out your mat, have your glass of water next to you. We're going to do lots of core. So starting with your feet hip width apart, so on your back. And let's practice that powerhouse. So we're really zipping up that core. We have a neutral spine in the lower back. You're putting on those really tight jeans, trying to do the button up so that you flatten and scoop that lower transverse abdominis muscle. And it's almost like that imagery as well where you're trying to narrow the hips. Let's draw the pelvic floor up and hold it. And we'll start with a little toe tap. So we're going to lift the leg up to tabletop and then tap it back down. And then we swap legs. So we lift the leg up to tabletop, tap it back down, and we keep alternating here. Now this should be really, really easy, but also you're in control, so you can actually make this harder if you like. And the way that we do that is tuck that rib cage in, really control the movement from the core. Forget what the legs are doing. Yes, the legs are moving, but if we can train our brain that the movement comes from that powerhouse, then every movement will actually be a core workout. And then we inhale to lift, exhale to tap. We're just alternating here, and this is a beautiful one to come back to if the other ones are a little bit hard. And let's do one more on each side. Last one. Amazing. And relax. We're going to get straight into imprinting the spine so there's no gap in that lower back, and let's float the legs up to tabletop. Here we're going to extend the right leg and then back to tabletop and extend the left. Now I want you to have a bit of a play around with this one. So we're starting off nice and high, just so you can get a feel for what the core is doing, what the lower back's doing. But if you can, you're going to go slightly lower towards the mat. Now you have to find your sweet spot. It's going to be different for everybody. If you go too low, your lower back will start to arch. So you know you need to go a little bit higher than that, maybe a centimetre higher. But you still want it to be a challenge. So you want to try and keep working your way down so that you find that sweet spot. Just check in with the shoulders because that can also be a sure sign that maybe you've gone too low. So the lower back is imprinted, the shoulders are down and back. We breathe out as we extend, in as we come back to tabletop. We breathe out to extend. Good. Keep going. You're so strong, really activating all the muscles in the leg, and even pause when you get out to the end there. So you're really keeping that core switched on and braced the whole time. So don't switch it off when you get back to tabletop. Keep it all switched on. It's on, it's on, it's on, it's on, it's on, it's on. It doesn't turn off. Keep going. In fact, I've actually trained myself to keep it on all the time. So it's always braced. Check in with that lower back. Let's do one more on each side. And last one. And hug the knees in if that feels good for you. Okay, scissor kick with the legs. So I'll show you a couple of options here. So we can extend the legs straight up, hands by your side, point the toes. We can do little flutter kicks here, even with a bent knee. So again, it depends on those hamstrings. So if your hamstrings are super tight, maybe that's going to be a limiting factor for you, so you can keep the knees bent. Otherwise, the legs are straight as you scissor kick the legs. The lower you go with those legs, the harder this is going to be. And if you want to make it even harder for that third option, you can sweep the arms down by the legs and we scissor kick those legs. So choose your option and let's get going. If you are in this position where you have your shoulders off the mat, you must tuck the chin and look at that belly button. You really want to have that nice curve in your neck. See, if I look up towards the sky, I'm really straining my neck muscles to look up. So that's why I tuck the chin and I rely on my core muscles to lift the shoulders off the mat, and I'm relying on the lower transverse abdominis muscles as I'm sweeping the legs. 5, 4, reach a bit further. We've got 2 to go. 1, and you can hug the knees in. Amazing. Okay, let's go back to basics for a bit. We're going to do the abdominal curl up. So squeeze the knees together with your feet hip width apart. Elbows are open as you interlace the hands behind your head. So you really want to imagine that you're just at the beach, we're relaxing with friends, elbows are open. This feels really comfortable on the neck, okay? So I am rested. My neck is rested, my head is in the palms. Elbows are open, I can barely see them out of the corner of my eye. Let's tuck the chin and curl up. And down. So you really do want to tuck that chin. You're looking at the belly button. The rib cage is tucking in and sliding down as you curl up, and breathe out as you curl up. So nice and slow. Really want you to forget about yanking the neck. We actually want to think about using the six-pack muscles to lift the shoulders off the mat. Now stay there if that feels good for you, otherwise you're going to imprint the spine and float the legs up to tabletop as we come into an abdominal curl up with our feet off the mat. Now push those knees away, they're going to want to keep creeping forward, and your job is to keep pushing them away. Take it a bit slower. I know we just want to rush through this, it can be quite challenging. Breathe out as we curl up. Remember, you can barely see the elbows from the corner of your eye, so keep the elbows open, push the knees away, draw the belly in, and you're not getting a huge distance off the mat, so you may as well hold it up for that microsecond and then curl down with control. Let's do 4 more. Push those knees away, imprint the spine, and 2 more. And hug the knees in with control. Okay, coming into the hundreds. This is a very challenging exercise, so we're going to breathe through it. There's 3 options though. So the first option is to place the feet on the mat as you squeeze the knees together and sweep the arms by the side as you pulse to 100. The second option is to come into tabletop, make sure you have an imprinted spine, squeeze the knees together, and we pulse for 100. And the third option is extend the legs and even lower them, and we're going to pulse for 100. Okay, so choose your option and come with me. So you may even want to start with your legs extended, and then you can work your way down to that bent knee or even the feet on the mat. Either way, you're squeezing those knees together. And if your legs are long, I really want you to think about lengthening out from the hips as you sweep those arms. Good. I'm just going to come down here so I can talk through this and give you some prompts. But I really want you to reach those arms. So it's almost like you're imagining me, I'm grabbing your hands and pulling those hands so the shoulders lift off the mat a little bit more. So you're pulsing those arms, don't stop. Draw the belly in. Now I want you to think about that neck. So if you need to, you can hold the head with your hand as you pulse maybe for 10 on one side and then swap hands for 10 on the other side. Make sure you do have that imprinted spine. Play around with extending the legs, bending the knees, really push through it. I know this is challenging, but you've got it. We're not here for too much longer. So you usually inhale for about 5 pulses and exhale for about 5 pulses. So let's do 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're so good. That is exceptionally hard. Well done. Have the break, have a drink, you deserve it. Okay, coming into our side oblique series. So with the side, we're going to set up with the elbow directly underneath the shoulder. If it's too far out, you're going to feel a lot of strain on that shoulder. So make sure you're just tucking it in. There's a couple of options here as well. You can start by holding that oblique plank with the hips high and the knee on the mat. The second option, you can scissor kick those legs And the third option, you can stack the legs. So choose your option, but what I do want you to do is lift that hip nice and high. So let's go. Every time the hips are going to try and drop down. So you're trying to lift the hips up higher. And remember your option, you can always drop down and you could lift the arm, lift the leg. Personally, I like to be in the scissor kick. It challenges me. It's enough to make me push a little bit harder, but I also feel like it is achievable. We're here for 10 more seconds. 9, keep the hips high. We've got 7 to go. 6, draw the belly in. 4 to go. 3, 2, 1. You're so strong. We're going to stay on this side and do little pulses. So again, just check that you're all set up. You want to be correct in that shoulder. This is actually your arm workout as well. A lot of the weight is going through that arm, so make sure that you feel comfortable there. If you can, come into that scissor kick, but remember your option, you can drop to the knees at any time. We're going to pulse for 10. Let's go. Lift up from the hip, and dip and lift. 9 to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is hard, but you did it. So let's roll over and do it on the other side. So to set up, remember we want that elbow directly underneath the shoulder. Feels pretty comfortable there, and you have the option to lift from the hip onto the knees. So choose your option, whether it's the scissor kick or stacking. And let's hold, hold, hold. Remember, you're lifting that hip up towards the sky. There's an imaginary string and you're lifting it high. This time we're not going to have that micro break. We're going to go straight into the little dips. So stay with me a little bit longer. We've got 8 seconds to go, and then we're going to dip it out. 6, 5, stay up high, lift the hips. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. We dip and lift. 9 to go, and 8, 7. This is not easy, but you're doing it. You're so strong. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good, so hard, but it is done. Congratulations. To finish class, we're going to do a little plank around the world. So our hands and feet actually tap out as we do the traditional plank. So come with me and let's go. So onto the elbows, onto the toes, and you're going to tap the hand out to the side and then tap the feet, tap the feet. Now your option, so keep going, but your option is to either hold in the plank, or you can even drop the knees down, and you can still do around the world while you're still strengthening that core. So breathe through it. Every time you lift those hands in particular, see if you can try and keep the hips down, flat. And let's do one more around the world. Tap, tap. And you can lower the hips all the way down. Pin the hips as you reach out and relax. So keep stretching where necessary. This is obviously a really challenging exercise, but it is designed, this class is designed for repetition. So you're welcome to repeat this, whether you repeat it back to back or whether you do one in the morning, one in the evening. These are so good to actually continuously do. And you'll find that with core exercises, you do get stronger quite fast. So keep it up. I know it's hard. Enjoy your protein, enjoy your water. Come and chat to me on the Facebook group. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining today.